There was a time when a watch just told you the time, when a car was there just to be driven from point A to point B and nothing more. Today though, we wear literal supercomputers on our wrists and sit around in AI-powered, self-driving battery electric vehicles with huge screens and built-in doom scrolling. And in a world where everything is trying to do everything, it is so refreshing to have something that does just one thing and does it really well.
It's a vehicle born long before lifestyle SUVs, touchscreens or driving modes with terrain names most owners will never actually see. It was born for a singular purpose: utility. Not comfort, not lifestyle, just utility.
The story begins in 1941 when the US Army demanded a vehicle and not a marketing exercise. They needed something that was light, tough, fixable and disposable.
So they asked 135 companies to create working prototypes of a four-wheel drive vehicle with very specific requirements and a deadline of just 49 days. And a small, short-staffed company called American Bantam got the blueprint ready in just 5 days, giving the army a prototype a few months later, and that was it. The shape, the stance, the idea was locked in.
The very same shape and stance that was the genesis of what we know as the SUV today. It was that design that got sold to Willys, and it is that design that was the birth of other military-first off-roaders like the Hummer and the G-Class, as well as civilian, rugged SUVs like the Land Rover. SUV is Jeep, Jeep is SUV.
And today the Wrangler stands as a true testament to that origin. This is definitely not the most comfortable SUV. It's also not the quietest or the fastest. But what it is mechanically honest.
You can get it with a Hemi V8 in the land where they don't know what a kilometer is. But here in India, we get a 2-liter, 4-cylinder turbo, which is alright on power, but it is really thirsty, which is partly because it's working real hard to move an SUV the size of a Wrangler, and partly because the Wrangler has the exact same drag coefficient as the Great Wall of China.
But this was a part of fate. You chose this gate, and now we set it straight. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. No time to flip flop, flip flop, flip flop. Your time is up.
Of course, there's proper low-range 4x4. Of course, there's a heavy-duty Dana 44 HD full float axle at the rear. Of course, the roof comes off, the windshield goes down, and every single Rubicon is still benchmarked at the legendary Rubicon Trail in the United States, proudly signified by its Trail Ready badge.
Welcome to the end. It's time to pay for your sins. You took a mile from an inch. Get yourself in the pinch.
While today's market is filled with raised hatchbacks pretending to be adventurous, the Wrangler doesn't pretend at all. And I love that. The capabilities aren't just beyond what I can extract of it, but often beyond what any terrain can ask of it. Driving it just feels like you're commandeering a mothership. You get the sense that no matter what the view is out of the tiny flat windshield, it cannot stop the Wrangler.
Just as the Wrangler helps you get to roads less traveled, this watch does that too. It tells you the time, yes, but also celebrates nature and the same terrains where the Wrangler feels at home. This is the Agumbe from an Indian luxury brand called Bangalore Watch Company. Swiss automatic movements, surgical grade steel, 200 meters of water resistance and sapphire crystals to protect the case from scratches. You want the Wrangler to handle these roads and a proper no BS watch that can fit the role on your wrist.
And much like an analog timepiece is to a smartwatch today, the Wrangler exists in a world that doesn't really need it anymore. Electric cars are faster, they're quieter, crossovers are more comfortable. Technology has really solved most of the problems. But the Wrangler isn't really trying to solve a problem. You buy one not because it makes sense, but because it kind of doesn't make any sense at all.
Because most cars and SUVs today are appliances with big screens, bigger sunroofs, and enough computing power to launch a nuke. The Wrangler is not that. There's more physical buttons here than all of Tata and Mahindra's vehicles put together.
The gear selector and the four-wheel drive lever is mechanical. They are hard to use. There's a simple single button to instantly turn the screen off. The entire thing, it shakes, it rattles, it squeaks, it's uncomfortable, but most importantly, it demands your involvement. Every day, all the time, you are completely aware that you're piloting a large ladder frame SUV and there is no attempt to hide that fact. There's no ultralight steering wheel or massage seats because not everything needs to be the latest or the greatest or the best at everything. Some things just exist to remind us how things used to be. Because this isn't an intelligent machine, it's just an honest one. Holy shit.